Hey, what's going on? This is Malcolm here on Malcolm Talks. And we right back at it again. I hope everybody's doing great, man. Today, I like to talk about futuristic things. And today I want to talk to you guys about something called the quantum internet. The quantum internet. You probably never heard of it. It's something that is new. It hasn't been created yet, but they're working on it. And this is some scientific stuff. It's the future. But I love talking about these types of things. So I want to share a little bit with you. All right. So there were some physicists in the Netherlands or somewhere like that. Some physicists in the Netherlands, right? And then they created or came up with this concept. They didn't come up with the concept. They actually had a huge breakthrough not too long ago, like a week ago, where they're able to move quantum information and teleport it. So basically it's teleportation except with information. This is a first. No one's done this before. And they're trying to figure out a way to scale it and to make it massive so that it can be used all across the world. And the main reason why this whole thing was put in place or even thought about was because a lot of our systems are being hacked by hackers and things like that. And we're trying to figure out ways to encrypt data so that it can't be easily intercepted. And so that's kind of the reason why they're creating this whole quantum internet thing. Now, the quantum internet would not replace regular internet. It would just be kind of alongside the internet. So basically you'll have quantum internet and then low budget internet. But with quantum internet, you'll be able to move a lot of major information, quantities of information without it being detected by outside folks that you don't want looking at it. I'm pretty sure the banking systems and all of these people with the real sensitive information, they're going to be using things like the quantum internet. Now, the main thing about the quantum internet is that it does not rely on any physical infrastructure to move information. It's literally being teleported. If you can kind of imagine a diamond, right? But then imagine when you zoom all the way in on a little bitty diamond. Let's just say the diamond kind of looks like a honeycomb or something like that, right? When you zoom all the way in at a microscopic atom type level. And within those little honeycombs, you have something called, I think they're called qubits or something. And within that qubit, you have some type of floating node or whatever. And this node, it allows you to store information. And somehow, because it's a diamond, you can shoot information across by teleporting it. And I know this sounds crazy. This is just my way of trying to understand and talk about it. Now, the information within the node of the qubit, or whatever you call it, I look at it kind of like a snowflake. The snowflake, if you think about a snowflake, it's very intricate and it's made out of ice. But if you try to handle a snowflake, it's going to melt in your hands. Same thing with a qubit. This information that's being passed through teleportation, if it is observed or tampered with or touched or whatever, the properties of it change, which means that now you will be able to tell if it's been tampered with, and it will actually give you information on who was the spy, basically, who has been watching what we doing. And it's new. They're working on it. And it's something that all the world leaders have been working on and they want for themselves. People like China, the EU, of course the United States, we all over it. I think China has actually created a way to teleport information up to 745 miles. And I think they're using satellites. What I'm talking about is real. This is real stuff, guys. I know it sounds crazy, but this is real things that they're working on. They can communicate information from that high up using satellites. We're still using, like, trying to figure out how to use fiber optic cables to transport these nodes and all this other stuff. But it is future technology. It is based on quantum mechanics, quantum communications. And it's also based on this theory of entanglement, something called entanglement. And I know I'm going way over a lot of you guys' head. Shit, I'm going over my own head with this. You know, I just read about this morning, trying to get a better understanding. It comes down to entanglement. And no, I'm not talking about the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett entanglement with August Alsina, whatever his name is. That ain't the type of entanglement I'm talking about. That type of entanglement got Chris Rock smacked. That ain't what I'm talking about. The entanglement that I'm speaking of is based on a quantum mechanical theory or concept that allows information to be transported over long distances without using any kind of physical infrastructure. Like I said before, it's being teleported. Now, it is my guess that in the next, 10, 20 years, we'll be using quantum internet. We'll be teleporting information. And yeah, I think in using that same technology, once they get a good grasp of what it is and how to use it, they'll be able to teleport other things. They'll be able to teleport us. They will be able to teleport people eventually. You know, where you go to sleep and you just wake up somewhere else. You know what I mean? You wake up, you kind of embarrassed. You're like, where am I? Shit. Kind of scared, like seeing people just pop right out of thin air. That's what they're gonna do, man. They're gonna use this information to be able to eventually move into that next level. And I'm thinking all of this is gonna happen in my lifetime. I give it about another 30, 40 years. You'll start seeing teleportation and all kind of crazy stuff. We'll be communicating with aliens, because you got to remember, aliens are probably so far away that we can't communicate. We can't make no fiber optic connection that's gonna communicate with them. We're trying to make noises and sounds, hoping that the signal will get out. They probably listening. They're probably watching us like fish in a fish tank. We don't see them, but they see us. They're kind of like, man, they just fish, man. We ain't tripping. Like, but once we start using that type of technology, they're gonna be like, oh, they're using quantum internet over there. Let's go. Let's go take a look at what they're doing, because that quantum internet is the next step into the next steps of evolution. I was looking at something on Netflix the other night. It's called Love and Robots. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it, but it's amazing, man. And they have these little series where it's like each one is about 10 or 15 minutes. But it's like some of the best anime type stuff I've ever seen, where it looks very realistic and it's a lot of very futuristic concepts dealing with robots, and it's kind of gory though. But so if you don't like that kind of stuff, don't watch it. But if you like that kind of stuff, man, check it out. They had this one episode where it was a farmer, and he was in the future, and he had this huge barn, and in the barn there was rats. And he had a rat infestation. He was trying to get rid of the rats on his farm, right? But mind you, it's still in the future. So he got this little robot that he could buy that was specifically designed to eradicate all the rats. But before he did that, he went in there by himself and tried to shoot the rats. And he shot like 2 or 3 rats. And he looked up and a rat popped up with a bow and arrow and was like, pew! And tried to shoot him with a bow and arrow. He's like, what the hell? It was like a bow and arrow the size of a toothpick. He looked at the bow and arrow, because it's stuck in the wall behind him. It barely missed him. So he looked at the bow and arrow, took a close look at it. Bow and arrow had a metal sharp tip with some feathers on the end. Looked like a human made this bow and arrow. And then he looked back up. It was 100 mice, all with bow and arrows. Like they ready to fight. And he was like, oh, hell no. I ain't about to go in here and try to fight these rats. They got bow and arrows and vests and they communicating with each other. The rats had evolved, is my point. So what happens next is he's like, I got to figure out a way to eradicate these rats. So he goes to some company that create this robot. And the robot is specifically designed to get rid of rats. Long story short, they kept sending in robot after robot. The rats kept killing them all. It was like World War II scenes, but it was with rats. And the rats were intelligent. I say all that to say, man, this whole quantum internet and being able to teleport information and all that kind of stuff, we're going to start communicating with alien civilizations, man, using the same technology. And we might get visited by rats, man. You never know. I don't know. I know I'm rambling. I'm going all over the place. That's pretty much all I got, man. Look it up. Quantum internet. The future is real. The future is coming. Got to stay abreast because you never know when your ass might get teleported. Hey, I'm gonna holler at you guys next time. Subscribe to the channel. Peace.